up, everyone? It's Jonathan with Bay Area Throwbacks. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be sharing my baseball books, but it's going to be just my baseball books that are based off of certain teams, the Giants, the A's, and the San Francisco Seals. I have other baseball books like The Mental Game of Baseball, The Science of Hitting, a few different books by Tony Gwynn, Ted Williams, just a bunch of different like baseball books like that, but these are not going to be like the training type of books. These are strictly just books based off of the teams that I have. So let's get straight into it. So the first one I got the Tales from the Giants Dugout. This book my girlfriend actually got me this recently at Book Off. I don't know if you know what Book Off is, but they have it at a lot of malls. It's pretty much just stuff people sell their stuff in, and you can buy stuff from there. So it's a lot of books, a lot of DVDs, video games, action figures, all type of different things that you can find for a good price. Like this one we got for $5.50. So it's pretty much just just kind of different random little tales, look like behind the scenes type of things that you may not know about. Just all type of different stuff like that, starting from their first year in San Francisco in 1958 up until, I think this was done in 2003 this book was finished being made. So I think like the last stuff in here is like, talking about like Barry Bonds getting his 600th home run, breaking the single season record, stuff like that. So it's a good book. If you're someone who can't focus for too long, this is a good book for you, because it's literally the longest little like section in here is probably maybe a page, and then it just has a bunch of different little mini stories. So it's a good book to read. I like it. I would like to read some of it, but I don't really know the rules with reading books online, so I'm just not gonna get in trouble. So that's Tales from the Giants Dugout. So that's a good little, like I said, if you want to just read quick things, maybe right before you go to bed, this is a good one. The second book I have is San Francisco Seals, Images of Baseball. This book is mostly just a lot of pictures, and then each picture, I don't know how much I can show, but it literally just has like little stories and stuff next to the picture. So it goes in order from beginning to end, from their first season in, let's see, what was their first season? I think it was 1903. Inaugural game. Okay, so their first game ever was March 26, 1903. Their last game was they finished in 1958. Oh no, 1957. My bad. Giants came in 1958. But so this is also a good like quick one if you just want to see pictures. Each chapter, it's pretty much by decades. So each chapter starts with a little description of the decade, what happened with the team, different things, and then there's just a lot of pictures of just different players, different things happening in the game, and then just the stadium, Seal Stadium, and the other stadiums they played in. So it's pretty cool if you want to just get a quick history of the San Francisco Seals from the Pacific Coast League. Obviously, this picture of Joe DiMaggio here. He started with the San Francisco Seals before he was on the Yankees. Lefty O'Doul, Vince and Dom DiMaggio, who are both Joe's brothers. So there's that, them in here. A lot of other guys who went up going to the major leagues through time. And this is by Martin Jacobs and Jack McGuire. So you'll see these, I see these books a lot, the Images of Baseball, of different teams. So this one was the San Francisco Seals. And real quick, let me go back to this one. A Tale from the Giants Dugout is by Nick Peters. Let me give people their credit, Nick Peters. So now we're going to go on to Baseball's Forgotten Ambassador, Lefty O'Doul, by Dennis Snelling. I have not started reading this book. I got this one recently. I keep forgetting this. This one, my bad. I got this off Thrift Books for a really cheap price. I forgot what the price was, but it was pretty cheap. So Thrift Books. This one I got off Amazon. Lefty O'Doul, Baseball's Forgotten Ambassador, Dennis Snelling. If you know about the history of San Francisco baseball, not just the Giants, just San Francisco in general history, then you probably know about Lefty O'Doul and what he's about. Born and raised in San Francisco, played on the Giants, played on the Seals. If you ever go to Oracle Park, behind the stadium, there's the bridge. If you're on the, if you're leaving from the third base right field side, there's that bridge. It's called the Lefty O'Doul Bridge after him. In San Francisco, they had the Lefty O'Doul what's it called? The Lefty O'Doul. So the place I was thinking about is literally called Lefty O'Doul's. I think it's closed out now for good. I know they used to have it. If I'm not mistaken, they had one downtown, and then they had moved to Fisherman's Wharf on Jefferson Street. I've been there before it closed down. It's pretty buffet style, all type of memorabilia. So that was a cool place. But Lefty O'Doul, he played with the San Francisco Seals, played with the Yankees, played with a few different major league teams, but he did play with the New York Giants for a couple years. He would go back and forth between the major leagues and the San Francisco Seals. He also, after his major league career was done in 1934, he actually managed the San Francisco Seals. And not only did he manage them, but he was a manager player. So he did play, he hit, he pitched, he managed. So I have not started reading this one yet, but I look forward to it. But yeah, when you talk about San Francisco baseball, Lefty O'Doul is just synonymous with that. So, like I said, if you're a fan of just San Francisco baseball history, this is someone you want to look into, and probably a book you want to maybe check out. Once again, like I said, it's Baseball's Forgotten Ambassador, Lefty O'Doul, Dennis Snelling. I'm thinking after I finish reading all the books I haven't read, maybe I'll talk more about them in separate videos by themselves. But like I said, I got this one recently, so I have not started it. Now this book, the Giants Encyclopedia, my parents actually bought me this book for my birthday in 2001, September 25th, 2001. So pretty crazy. So that was right after September 11th, so around that time. So says for our son, yeah. So they bought me this for my birthday. So obviously I was a huge baseball fan, huge Giants fan, but A's. I will have some A's stuff too. Don't get it twisted. I've always been an A's fan too, but Giants are my main team. So my parents got me this Giants Encyclopedia autographed copy. This is from Tom Scott and Nick Peters. This was made in I think it says 1999. So everything in here is the history from the first year as the New York Giants, or actually what were they, the New York Gothams? Because I know originally they weren't even called the Giants. They were called the New York. Let me see what we got here. Okay, yeah, so they were called the New York Gothams, and then they moved on, New York Giants, then San Francisco Giants. So this went through 99. If you look on the front, it has that 2000 year patch. Or, I mean, I don't know if they never actually wore that, I don't think, but it's just a patch of, at the time, which was Pac-Bell Park. It was Pac-Bell Park, and yes, this is before they moved into that new stadium. So this is pretty much all the history up until then, through year 1999. Pretty cool book. They have like here through the years. It tells you every single year's record, winning percentage, the place they came in, their attendance for the year. And I'm assuming that is the manager under. Let me see. Is that what that is? The manager. Yeah, and then the manager. Then it gives you a little description, kind of a little summary of the season, how it went. And then after that, you got prominent managers. Tells you about some of the managers. You got players roll call, so it tells you a little story of a lot of the main players in Giants history, from the Gothams all the way through San Francisco through 99. Pictures, tells you the years they played with the Giants, their position, and just like I said, a little description about them and their career with the Giants. What do you got past that? Past the players roll call, we get World Series stories. So I think it's telling us, all the different World Series the Giants had been in up until that point, and the results with the stats too. Then you get some pictures. We got here Juan Marshall, Willie McCovey, Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Pacific Bell Park at the time, which is now Oracle Park, Candlestick Park. And then the Giants Hall of Famers up until then. Up until this point. Continues with the World Series stories. Then you got playoff pictures telling you about the different playoffs series beside the World Series, with the World Series that they were in. Then I was here, year by year data, career individual batting and pitching statistics, records and honors. postseason play, trades, every trade in Giants history up until that point. So that's pretty wild to be able to track all that. Let me see. What does it show as the first trade? 1899. I don't even know how to say his name. Joe Meekin to Boston Bean Eaters in exchange for $3,500 cash. So that was the first trade in Giants history. And let's see, what was the last trade of the century? August 31st, 1999, acquired Joe Messman from Houston Astros in exchange for Stan Javier. And then after that, so you got facts and figures, stats, and stories. So yeah, top individual performances. Yeah, so yeah, this is literally an encyclopedia. So if you want to learn about Giants history, at least up until 1999, that's a good book right here. The Giants Encyclopedia by Tom Schott and Nick Peters. So now this one isn't really a book. It's more just a magazine, which they have these every month at the games. This is just a Giants magazine. They sell these at the ballpark. This is July of 2017. The official, just called Giants. Official magazine of the San Francisco Giants. So if you see, you got Matt Cain on the front. It says picture perfect. Matt Cain shares his favorite photos. You got Jeremy Affel plus Josh Osich. Hunter Strickland and the Great Outdoors. Venezuelan Gigantes. And on top of his baseball school, Christian Arroyo's first trip to the Bigs. So this is just talking about. I don't know if I used to have more of these when I was younger from back in the day, like JT Snow days, which are really, but I don't know what happened to those. If I go to my parents' house, maybe I'll find them. But just a bunch of different little stories for each month they have. If you go to the ballpark, you'll see these. But yeah, so it's just that Giants magazine that they sell at the game. Or I guess technically this is what would be called a program, right? Or no, pretend I never said that. This isn't a program. It's just a magazine. So yeah, Giants magazine, Matt Cain on the front, July of 2017. It's over 4 years ago. Time flies. So the last ones I got are some yearbooks. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4. No, never mind. I got one more book and then the yearbooks. So this one, so for my A's, got to give them some love. This is actually my girlfriend's book. She bought this for her little cousins, but when we moved, it came with us. 50 Years of Greatness. So if you really want to talk about a quick read, this is super quick. Just a lot of little facts. And this is from what, 2008? Yeah, see, because it has the 50-year patch. So 1958 or 1968 to 2018, Oakland A's history. So yeah, this is a good book if you want to buy for a kid. If you want to get your kids started young or little cousins, little brothers on being an A's fan, this is a good quick read. If you're an adult, you could finish this in like, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But yeah, it's a good book if you just want to get some quick history on the Oakland A's in their first 50 years in Oakland. But just a reminder, this is just the Oakland history because remember, they did start in Philadelphia as the Philadelphia A's and then the Kansas City A's before they moved to Oakland. So remember that. But this is the first 50 years of Oakland A's history. So, oh yeah, 50 Years of Greatness, Oakland A's Athletics by Josh Anderson. And you see, I can't see who's getting doused, but someone got a walk-off hit. A lot of those this last decade. So now we're going to go into my yearbooks. I got 4. I got 2000. I got 4 different ones. I got 3 Giants and an A's. We're just going to go in the years that they came out. So the first one I got is a 2000 official team San Francisco Giants yearbook. See the Pacific Bell Park patch there, year 2000. This is the first year they were in Pac Bell Park, now Oracle Park. Pac Bell, SBC, AT&T, now Oracle Park. If you don't know what a yearbook is, it pretty much just has a year in recap of the year before. Has the pictures, a picture of each player with a little description. Was that birthday, opening day age, birthplace, bat, throws, height, weight, major league service, how they were obtained, and the contract status. Plus their last year's stats. So it goes through each player, then has little stories about the year before and what they have looking forward. So for this year, it says here, like, this is the heart of the order. Parental perspectives of Giant superstars. You got Barry Bonds, Jeff Kent, Ellis Burks, and JT Snow. So that was the heart of their order looking going into the year 2000. into the new century. Tells you the coaches. It tells you the 40. It gives you the big picture, the whole page to the big guys, and then the other 15 guys on the 40-man roster, they just have a small picture all combined in different pages. So let's see who we got here. Who do we have here that you would know? Pedro Feliz. If a lot of you guys, if you were fans of the Giants in the 2000s, you should know Pedro Feliz. Who was on the 40-man roster, but not on the Major League roster to start the season? I remember Cody Ransom was a big prospect back then. He played in the Major Leagues for a while. Yorvin Torrealba, he was a catcher back then. I remember him, of course, Yorvin Torrealba. And then Ryan Vogelsong, young Ryan Vogelsong in 2000, before he debuted with the Giants, traded to Pittsburgh, and then became a hero later on in the next decade, in the 10s, with the Giants when he came back. So it's funny to see him as just an additional player, one of the guys on the 40-man roster who's not on the Major League roster. So I got to see if I'm allowed to show any of this on camera, but if I can, I do want to come back to this because this is cool. Yeah, so the year 2000. So this year in 2000, they ended up with a record of 97-65, first place in the NL West. They went on to play the Mets in the division round. And if a lot of you guys ever know the big famous JT Snow home run off Armando Benitez to tie Game 1, that was this year, 2000. I remember they used to have a commercial, that downtown commercial back in the days where they showed that home run. They did end up losing that game, though, and that series, so they didn't make it past the division round. But that was 2000, first place. Jeff Kent did get the NL MVP though that year. So it was actually a Bay Area MVP all around because in the American League, Jason Giambi of the A's got AL MVP. Jeff Kent got the NL MVP. So that was a good year for Bay Area baseball, at least individual-wise. Let me make a quick correction. The big JT Snow home run was actually Game 2, not Game 1. So to tie the game in the 9th. So I do apologize about that. That was Game 2. So went back and fixed myself. So here, now we got the 2002 Giants official yearbook. And we got, you got on the front, you got Barry Bonds, Jeff Kent, Rob Nan, Rich Aurelia, JT Snow, and Tyoshi Shinjo. I don't know how many of you guys remember that guy, but Shinjo. This year they ended up going to the World Series. They lost the World Series to the Angels. And so that year they were actually a wild card team. They got second place in the division with a 95-66 record. So yeah, they had a big, Bonds obviously was doing his thing. This was a year after he broke the single season record. But what do we got in here? So you got a little section about some of the old school players. Christy Mathewson, John McGraw, who's the infield manager. Bill Terry, Mel Ott. So these are some of the Carl Hubble, those are all New York Giants guys. Then you got Willie Mays, Juan Marichal, Orlando Cepeda, Willie McCovey. And then, oh, you know what? I think this is the retired numbers. Yeah, this is the retired numbers. And then Jackie Robinson at the end with number 42, obviously, throughout the league. That was bigger than baseball. Obviously, that was heroic stuff. So, for the Giants fans out there who say 42 shouldn't be retired because he's a Dodger, come on now. What he did was bigger than baseball. That's bigger than a rivalry. But anyways, we got some Giants pictures here. What do we got? We got Jeff Kent in the All-Star game. We got Levon Hernandez, Russ Ortiz, Dusty Baker. Got a bunch of pictures. Same thing. You got the single pages of the guys on the 25-man roster, each player with the same info: birthday, opening day, birthplace, where they reside, bats, throws, height, weight, Major League Service, and how they were obtained. And then we got at the end the little pictures of the 40-man roster guys. So let me see if they have anyone here. Let's see who they got here. Yeah, no one really. Minor league affiliates, so. Yeah, it's the 2002 yearbooks. I'm hoping I can eventually show more of the inside the pages and go through it more with you guys, but I just don't know if the rules. I'll figure that out eventually. And so this year was also another big year for Bay Area sports because Bonds got the 2002 MVP, NL MVP. Miguel Tejada in Oakland got the AL MVP, and Barry Zito got the AL Cy Young. Bonds that year hit 370, hit 46 home runs. So that was his second NL MVP in a row. He got it in 2001 and then 2002. So that was 2 in a row right there. Season-wise, though, like I said, second place in the division, wild card. Ended up going to the World Series and losing to the Anaheim Angels and that Rally Monkey, unfortunately. Should have probably won Game 6 up 5-0. They kind of choked on that one and then lost Game 7. So that's the 2002 yearbook. So we're going to go to 2003. I got the Athletics yearbook. And on the front, we got Miguel Tejada. Like it says, the 2002 AL MVP. Eric Chavez, 2002 Gold Glove Award winner and Silver Slugger. And then the Barry Zito 2002 Cy Young. So this is the 2003 yearbook. Pretty same thing as the Giants one. Shows the manager's picture of the Coliseum, packed Coliseum. The 2002 A's Award, yeah, like we said, that was a big year for them. 2002, they also got the 20 wins in a row. They were AL West champs, but so that's all. That's just Mark Ellis was AL Rookie Team second baseman. Billy Beane was executive of the year, the general manager. So this is just explaining what happened in 2002. Now we're moving on to this manager, Ken Maka. Terry Francona was the bench coach at the time, so he ended up managing the Red Sox. Who else we got here? Ron Washington ended up managing the Rangers against the Giants in the World Series. In 2010, he was the third base coach for the A's at the time. Same thing goes through the pictures. Each page of a guy who 25-man roster. You got Eric Burns, Chad Bradford, who threw submarine. That was crazy. Chavez gets 2 pages. Jermaine Dye gets 2 pages. Mark Ellis. See what do they got here? Bats, throws, height, weight, born, residence, major league service, how they're obtaining their contract status. So the A's in their yearbook have the contract status. Keith Falk, I remember. Let's see who they got on the 40-man roster. That might be a surprise. We got Tejada's right here. Barry Zito. Okay, who's on the 40-man? Or do they even show it? Oh, they don't even show the 40-man, actually. I don't think so. Yeah, they don't show the 40. The rest of the guys on the 40. There's a whole page here dedicated to the 20-game win streak. With, of course, the famous Scott Hatterberg home run and walk-off for Game 20 after they were killing the Royals and choked and gave up the tie. But then Scott Hatterberg, of course, did his thing and hit the walk-off in the bottom of the ninth. And then a little description of each game, the score of each game. I remember it was like Tejada had 2 walk-offs those last couple games against the Twins. I think they were both against the Twins. And then the A's Royals for game 20, won 12-11 with the famous Scott Hatterberg home run. And then the 2003 ad campaign, they had the famous ads, commercials and stuff in 2003. And then the schedule and promotion. So that's the 2003 Oakland A's Athletics yearbook. Like I said, I'm going to try to get more into these at some point. I forgot to bring up A's were first place in the AL West in 2003 with a record of 96-66. 3 games up on the Mariners first place, but they lost in the ALDS in 5 games to the Boston Red Sox. So they didn't make it past that division series, unfortunately. So that was 2003. So now we're going to go on to also 2003, but the Giants. Felipe Alous, first year as manager. Dusty Baker was gone after 2002. You got Barry Bonds. The Giants reload for 2003. You got a picture here of David Bell diving in the home for the walk-off hit by Kenny Lofton for the championship series in 2002. So, of course, they're going to have some pictures from the year before, like I've said. The staff, all the workers. What do we have here? PlayStation 2, Pac-Man Fever, and Xbox, Nintendo GameCube. Of course, they got some ads in here. So they got Felipe Alou, so that was a big deal. He was a new manager. Dusty Baker was out. Felipe Alou obviously used to play for the Giants too, and his two brothers. There was at one point, they did play all together in the outfield together, all three brothers. So imagine that at one time. So this was the big, they had Giants reload for 2003 after losing the World Series. They came back and signed Gardo Alfonso. Ray Durham came from the A's. So I don't know if you guys ever remember the commercial, but the Ray from across the bay. Marquise Grissom, and then left-handed pitcher Damian Moss. So they got those guys. Yeah, so that was some of the big signings that they got that offseason to try to reload and try to win it. Of course, we got our managers and coaches. We got the players. Now I'm seeing some of the guys from the earlier yearbooks moving up to the 25-man roster. Still got JT Snow. I got Jerome Williams. Who's in the 40-man roster? Let's see. That's 3, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah. Oh, this is more than the 40-man roster, I think. Let's see. Who do they got? Anyone here that ended up being big? I see Cody Ransom still here. And Jason Ellison, actually, I used to be a fan of him. He was a good player. I actually got his autograph. He was super, super nice guy, Jason Ellison. So, I think he played with the Mariners, too. But, yeah, so there's this. What else we got? Pictures of Pac Bell Park at the time. We got the pictures of 2002 regular season from the year before. Of course, you had the three you had Benito Santiago, Barry Bonds, Rob Nen. You got those guys at the All-Star game. Bonds hit his 600th home run in 2002, so you got a picture of that. Rob Nen got his 300th save of his career, so picture of that. Of course, the big series against the Cardinals. It always feels good to knock out the Cardinals out of the playoffs. Giants tend to do that a lot, so I'll just point that out for you Cardinals fans out there. Yeah, but then of course, the pictures of the World Series from 2002. So yeah, they got the Giants History Hall of Fame, different players, retired numbers again, which we already talked about in the last one. Yeah, so then in 2003, they got first place in the division, 100 wins, 61 losses. Went on to lose the division series to the Marlins. If you remember the infamous play, Jeffrey Hammond got like a little bloop single to left field. JT Snow tried to come in for the tying run, top of the ninth. He barreled into Ivan Rodriguez and tried to take him out. Ivan Rodriguez held on to the ball. And there was the famous scene of him holding the ball, like screaming with the ball in his hand. So, yeah, that was rough. Another first round exit. But, like in 2000. But, yeah, so that was 2003. So, let's see, what else? Let me think. Were there any big stories from 2003? So, yeah, Bonds again won the NL MVP. He hit 341 with 45 home runs. So, Bonds was just winning MVPs like crazy those early 2000s. But, yeah, so I'm hoping eventually I can figure out if I can at least show some of these, like the pictures, and go through it. I'd love to do that. I'm just, like I said, I don't know how that works, so I'll try to figure that out. Yeah, so those are my baseball team-related books that I have. Probably plan on getting some more, but I need to finish the ones I got already. And then one more random thing, just since we're on the subject of books. I got this at the library when I was, I don't know when, little kid. Random Tony Parrish, Tackle a Book, San Francisco 49ers. Book, what's it called? Bookmark, that's what it's called. So, yeah, Tony Parrish was a 49er safety. What did he write here? It said, reading has helped me to get to where I am today. And he's reading, just shows him reading the Winnie the Pooh book. Just trying to motivate kids to read. So I remember I had a bunch of these. I had like 4 or 5, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 of these of different players. I think probably 4. I don't know where the other ones are. If I find them eventually, I'll show them. But I still have this one. As you can see, it's crazy shape right now, all bent up. But still have this one laying around. So, bookmark, San Francisco 49ers reading team. Tony Parrish, 49ers safety. But beside that, yeah, so that's my baseball books plus a bookmark, Niners bookmark. But yeah, so like if you like the video, please like it. Subscribe if you're not already. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for checking it out. Everyone have a good day.